Hello everybody, it's Jen, Scrapbena Creations. Welcome back. Today I'm creating a card with the Perfect Nanny stamp set by Kindred Stamps. I love all of the images in the stamp set. Today I'm just going to be using the nanny with the umbrella, and I'm going to be creating a card using simple die cut shapes to create an easy background so you can really let your image pop off the card. I love this stamp set so much. I am going to share another video where I use more of the images to create a second card, so stay tuned for that video coming soon. For today, I am going to color her up in some darker colors. So for her hair, I'm using a light brown reddish color, and then for most of her outfit, I'm going to do that in blacks, and then I'm going to bring in some pops of color to really bring this image to life. So for the black, I'm starting darkest to lightest. I'm using C markers here, so I'm using the C9, the C7, and the C5 for the umbrella, and I'll also color her hat and her coat and her boots in the black as well. Just making sure to get a black color by using a combination of the grays so that there is some dimension left in the image and you can really see the different portions of the image come to life. So for her hat, I wanted to make it look a little bit rounded at the sides, so I'm using the darkest color to the sides of the hat, and then again I'll come in with my midtones and then blend that out with the lightest color. So I'm just leaving the little flowers and the little berries on her hat, and I will color those up at the end once I start bringing in some of the colors to accentuate her outfit. I absolutely love the little expression on her face with her little closed eyes and gorgeous eyelashes. I think she's absolutely adorable. You can see here that I also stamped out one of the images, which is a spoonful of sugar cubes, and I will be using that on the inside of the card just to finish off the card. So with her jacket, I'm using the darkest colors to the sides as well as under her scarf. I am going to come back at the end of coloring this with a white gel pen and bring in lots of white detailing to really make her outfit shine. For the spoon, I'm using a combination of the C5 very sparingly, C3 and C1. I'm giving her daisies on her hat, so I'm using the C1 and the colorless blender marker just to give it a little bit of definition. Here's where I'm bringing in the colors. I'm using R39 for her dress and for the berries on her hat. I'm not even going to do any shading because those areas are so small that really you don't need to use more than one color. I'm going to be using a combination of YR9, YR7, YR4 for some orange colors, doing different stripes along her scarf, and also Y15 for a little bit of yellow. For her little suitcase, I'm just adding some dots on the underside. What will be, I'm going to go back over this with an E25 to make it look like kind of a fabric floral bag that she's carrying. Here's where I'm going to bring in the gel pen and the image really starts coming to life. Just highlighting some of the areas on the umbrella, on her hat, on her hair. I'm going to give her 3 little dots on her cheeks, and then I'm going to add some white detailing to her scarf, her coat, her boots, and her little suitcase. Once I finish that, I am going to fussy cut out the images, which were really simple to do. And then I'm going to start creating the background for my card. So I'm going to do a Distress Oxide background. I'm using Tumbled Glass, Mermaid, Lagoon, and Salty Ocean. So I'm starting off with the Tumbled Glass and did a full coat of that, and then I'm going to bring in the Mermaid Lagoon. just to bring a pop of blue. I wanted the sky to be kind of nice and bright because the simple die cut shapes that I'm going to be using are going to be in white and black. So I did want a pop of color on the card. So at the very end, I'm bringing in the Salty Ocean, which is the darkest color. Then come back in one more time with the Mermaid Lagoon and make sure that's all nice and blended. So once I get those cleared up, I'm going to use a stitched rectangle die and I'm going to cut out a panel. I'm using this building die. This is a Paper Smooches die, and I went to find the name of it and I can't even find this die anywhere online anymore. But you could use any type of building die that you have or a stencil. You could even draw these images. And I just simply cut it out of black cardstock. I then used the same rectangle die to make sure there was some stitching detail on the bottom of that. And I'm just going to glue that down to the bottom of my card. So that's going to be the base of the card. I'm going to add in some white clouds here once I get this panel onto my card base. So I'm just using a white A2 size card base here. Here's the cloud die that I have. You could use any card that you have. You could use any cloud that you have. This is an old one from an Amy Tangerine set. And I'm just simply cutting it out of white cardstock. I don't even add anything to the clouds. I'm leaving them crisp white. Sometimes I will add some of my C1 and the colorless blender if I want to have a little bit of shading on my cloud, but I really like the stark contrast of the blue, the white, and the black for this card. So I'm going to adhere my image down right onto the card base, so this is a nice flat card. You could definitely pop her up with some foam adhesive if you wanted to add some dimension. You could even add some foam dimension to the building die cuts as well. That would be really fun, but I wanted a nice clean and simple flat card. For the sentiment, I'm going to be stamping out anything can happen if you let it. I really love that sentiment. I feel like this is a great encouragement card or thinking of you, and it would just really brighten someone's day. So I stamped that out a couple times. I am going to heat emboss that with some clear embossing powder. Once I get that done, I will work on the inside of the card. So for the inside, I'm using the sentiment, Life's as sweet as a spoonful of sugar with you. And then I'm going to add my little spoon of sugar here, and my card will be complete. Now I actually made two of these cards. I'm going to show you both of them. One has a bit darker of a background. I think they both work really well. And I used a different sentiment on the second one, and I put the sentiment on the building. So I just wanted to show you a little bit of a variation in the card. I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care, everybody. Thanks for joining us today, and I'll see you really soon. Bye!